Hi, I'm Einy, joined by Kresse Wesling, the environmental entrepreneur. Thanks for joining me today, Kresse. Can you tell me what first gave you the idea of turning old fire hoses into fashion accessories?
Well, I think it's a series of events that definitely led me down this path. I'm not from the fashion sector and I'm purely an environmentalist, so I wasn't drawn immediately to fashion. What I was drawn to was the fire hose problem. I have an obsession with waste, so I'm always looking at different kinds of wastes, particularly niche waste. So if you think about glass in the UK, it's widely recycled, so that's not a niche waste, it's not a problematic waste. But I love the ones that nobody's dealing with, the insidious little wastes that actually pile up. And when I first saw the fire hose, I thought, this is beautiful, beautiful material. Why is it going to landfill? So I started collecting it. And once I was collecting it for quite some time and I was playing around and just making prototypes, I realized there's enough hose to be in the luxury sector, in the leather goods sector. There isn't enough hose to be what I originally wanted to be, which was a roof tile maker. And because the material's so durable, you have to do things of a certain quality. So there's no point taking a beautiful durable material and making something low end. There's also no point in doing that because I don't want to create throwaway goods. So the reason that I got into this is because of the environmental values that I have and the nature of the fire hose itself and the quantities that are available.
Eco-friendly products usually have a stigma of being unfashionable and uncool. With big names like Apple backing you, how else are you going against this stereotype?
Well, it's definitely a historical stereotype. I think ethical fashion has been too much about hemp sandals and things like that, and it's been really sort of part of the hippie movement. And what we have to do is make environmentalism fun. I think one of the biggest problems with the environmental message today is it's really depressing. Everyone's like, oh, you can't do that, and you can't do that, and you have to reduce that. And I think we still have to sell this message. So of course you have to make incredibly good products. You have to really focus on quality and design. And yeah, I mean, linking up with brands like Apple is definitely going to help our design credibility, as is showing at London Fashion Week and those kinds of things. It's very important to us to make the best possible product that we can.
Elvis and Kresse donate 50% of their profits to associate charities. They've raised over £3,000 for the developing world. Was that a target, and how are you going to do that in the next 5 or 10 years?
We donate 50% of our profits, and we've done that from day one. And obviously in the beginning we had, I think our first year we only turned over £15,000, so obviously the donation was all we had left in the bank account at the end of that year. We give half of our profits to charities on a line-by-line basis. So we give half of the profits from the fire hose line to the firefighters charity. And what our goal is essentially is to look at what the needs are of that charity, which are about for £9 million a year, and to grow our business to the point where they don't need to actively fundraise anymore. So if we had 18 million profits a year, they would have their 9 million without having to fundraise, and that would be fantastic because it means they could focus all of their energy on delivering services and instead of on fundraising. So our goals always are to supply our stakeholders with the funds that they need to achieve what they need to achieve.
Elvis and Kresse are described as a social enterprise. We know the benefits for the charities, but what are the benefits for yourself? And can you tell me a little bit about Eako?
Well, Eako and Elvis and Kresse are the same business. Eako is the sort of umbrella name for all of the activities that Elvis and I do. Elvis and Kresse is our brand name for our luxury range. The reason why we're a social enterprise is because we wouldn't really be or do anything else. I have always been in the green space. I think we've got about 10 years to save the planet, and that means that people like me with the skills that I have to be involved in this sector. So it's quite natural for us. And what it means for Elvis and Kresse as a brand is that we get great press, we have great stakeholder engagement, you know, the firefighters really believe in us and really work hard for us, and the press loves the story and our consumers love the story. So I think that it just means that we have a really beautiful, wonderful story that we're proud of and that the people who buy our products are proud of. And it's more than just a bag, you know. I think people want to have a product that they love and that has a story, and that's what we do and who we are.
Will you be extending your range from iPhone sleeves to books, furniture and so on?
Yeah, it's interesting. I was asked this question this morning and what my sort of overall aims are for the business. I look at some of the companies that are in the luxury sector and they are not performing at all on an environmental or an ethical level. And a lot of them have hugely diverse brands where they make things from perfume to paint to, wallpaper and all these things. And I know that all of those things can be made from waste. So there's an exciting challenge facing us over the next couple of years. Can we deliver? Can we actually grow to meet the demands that our consumers will have of our brand? Can we be really diverse? And yeah, I'm excited about trying new things. They'll always be classics, though. We're not going to be doing trendy seasonal stuff.
You were featured in London Fashion Week, and it gave great exposure to the green market. But how can you ensure that this exposure is not short-lived?
Well, we've only been around for 2.5, 3 years. We've been growing incredibly steadily and quickly since we started. And I think we just have to see where it goes. I'm an entrepreneur. It means that I risk everything. And of course, everything could implode, but I don't think it will. We've had a recession in the UK over the last 1.5 years. And through that time, we've experienced consistent growth. And I think that's because even when people have less money, they really think about what they're going to spend their money on. So we find our customer base is growing and growing and growing. We also find that in a lot of other economies, like North America wants us to come and set up there, Asia wants us to come and set up there. So I think that we have potential to grow a really strong global brand.
Some would say your products are too expensive for the average high street shopper. How will you go against this, and is this because of the manufacturing costs?
The interesting aside to that is that we actually, for the quality level that we produce to, we sell for the lowest possible price. So we make our products with the same leather craftsmen that make for some of the highest end brands. People who are selling bags for 5, 6 times what we sell ours for. The reason why we manufacture and almost over-engineer our products is because we want them to be built to last. We have classic designs, classic shapes, and they're timeless pieces. These aren't things that we expect will be here today, gone tomorrow, or fashionable one season and not the next. We've also seen our brand grow through the recession, so I think when people are buying our products, they're thinking about what they want and they're buying less. So they're maybe not buying 10 pieces a year. They're saving up to buy that one special thing, and we are definitely still affordable at that level. I also would really like it if people didn't buy the £3 t-shirts, because if you're buying a £3 t-shirt, I can guarantee you somewhere, somehow, someone's being exploited. We don't want to be a part of that, and we want people to buy something that means more than that.
Are your products made from 100% recycled materials and old hose?
No, we have a lot of different materials. So if you look at the iPhone holder, this is a fire hose outer. The thread is virgin thread. Unfortunately, we cannot use reclaimed thread because you'd have to get someone to unpick stitches. But the lining for this is reclaimed parachute silk. And this is actually heavy-duty parachute silk that they use to throw trucks out of planes. So we get a lot of parachute silk, a lot of our linings of that. The lining for this is reclaimed sailcloth, spinnaker sail. So yeah, we use reclaimed material wherever we can. So this bag's made from reclaimed fire hose, and you can see hose is really long and thin. That's why we've had to sew many pieces together. And the lining for this is reclaimed parachute silk. This is also antique brass, the buckle. So every place we can, we can.
Thank you very much for coming down to live this afternoon. It was a pleasure meeting you.
No, and you as well. You as well.